Okay, here's my thing. YouTube. If you're watching this video right now, man, I ain't gonna lie, man, you gotta subscribe. Just joking. No, seriously though, we talking about Persona 5 on Switch. Now, I recently made a video talking about my favorite picks for games in the month of October. You know, it had the games such as Bayonetta, and it had games such as Gotham Knights. I was really excited for those games for sure. But to be honest, I really didn't want to make that video because making that video to me is kind of pointless. Because yes, it is talking about October's best picks to me. But you know, when you watch videos like that, you just want to be informed. I'm not really an informed person. I like to talk about subjects to where I feel like I enjoy and I care enough to maybe even do research if I don't know, or at least to have enough knowledge where I can make a video without stressing over getting every detail right because I know them. And that includes Persona. I decided to split those up. I talked about Gotham Knights already. I want to talk about Persona. Persona comes out October 21st, same day as Gotham Knights, so that sucks. But I've had a couple of videos about Persona before on this channel. I talked about my story of finding the series all the time. I talk about my fateful encounter. You know, I got a PS Vita for my birthday. I was absolutely overjoyed. You know, honestly, I may not be a big YouTuber, man, but I love what I do with YouTube. I love, you know, everything I've been given. And, you know, not to get into any of that, but due to certain situations, you know, we really couldn't afford a Vita. But, you know, everybody looked out for me, man. I was basically, you know, I was that kid that everybody loved, and they all pitched in and they got me a Vita. Now, I had to buy one game. I had the chance to buy one game, and it was one of them things where, you know, you knew you weren't getting another game, at least for a long time, you know, a very long time. And this is the reason why I love JRPGs as a whole. You know, I'll get into that more on a JRPG video. But, you know, pretty much all my consoles at that point were hand-me-downs. The Vita was the first actual console I had that was actually new, you know. And they struggled to get me that card for enough for just one game. And back then, you know, I wasn't even really like a bratty kid. You know, I wasn't all like, well, this sucks. You know, I got the Vita with no games and stuff. Because nowadays, you can get a system and not really have to worry about games. You know, there are people that play Fortnite all day and they love it. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I understood the struggle. You know what I'm saying? So I know it sounds kind of stupid to say struggle and I had a brand new game system. I understand a lot of people didn't have that. But, I mean, people know what I'm talking about. They know what it is. But I walked into GameStop one day. And, you know, me choosing my games, you know, I wasn't really careful back then. You know, I would probably play anything. You know, I probably wouldn't have known what I would actually like. And had I not picked Persona that day, I probably would have put the Vita down way earlier. But I walked into GameStop, man. I looked at the back case of the cover of Persona 4. I was looking at all the little Vita games when they had the Vita section and stuff. Good times. Luckily, GameStop was, you know, not far, so I could just walk. And I was just so excited. I just really wanted to get in there and choose a game. So I'm looking around, and I'm seeing some games I feel like could be cool. And I think they had like what Ragnarok Odyssey was one. They had the Call of Duty, I think Declassified, which I ended up playing that as an adult, and I really did actually kind of like that game a little bit. But I'm glad I actually didn't pick it because I was actually gonna pick Call of Duty because at the time I didn't have no friends with no Vita. You know, I had friends, but we just did a lot of outside type of stuff. So for me, man, I wasn't really tripping. I was just looking up and down, and like I said before, I had PS2 games before. So I didn't really know the genre of JRPG. I'm kind of just playing these games, not really realizing they're all grouped under one category. I mean, I already played Final Fantasy X and Kingdom Hearts and all of that. I had actually got those from a neighbor who lived next door, who let me borrow his old PS2. Love them games, man. But now I had a system of my own. I had my own system. You know, I was able to play my own games. So what game would I pick? So I look at the back of the cover. Now, I'd been watching anime. I've been watching anime since I was really young. So, of course, when I go into out of a store, if I see a game that looks anime related or anime based, I'm going to pick that up. So, long story short, because I made the story way too long at this point, I picked up that. I went to the counter. I didn't have enough. I didn't have enough money. And it was crazy to me because, you know, when you're a kid and it's like you just got a shiny new Vita, man, you should be happy. Like, you should be overjoyed. Me not having enough for that game destroyed me. I'm not gonna lie, it destroyed me. And to be honest, I wasn't really even that super young either, man. But I think the person, they kind of saw like the look on my face, you know what I'm saying? I had the little birthday pin that, you know, I didn't have no money on it, but I had the birthday pin that was, you know, it's your birthday and you just kind of figure out some stuff. Now, I technically wasn't that young when all this happened or whatever, but I was really short for my age, and I really have a baby face, so I look nothing along my age. So I guess the couple felt bad for me because they were in there buying their kid some game or whatever, and they paid for the game for me. Not only did they, you know, pay the rest off, like they literally paid for the whole game and allowed me to keep my money. And for me, man, generally, I'm not really ever shown that level of kindness. I mean, from strangers. So to be honest, I was so overjoyed that day, man. It felt like a really, really good day. They really looked out for me. And it's as something as simple as, you know, just buying a game, man. Like it's not something I needed. Wasn't gonna be, you know, there's a lot of worse situations I could have been in not getting this game. But it's made my day, man. It's made the perfect birthday for me. And it's the reason why I have an emotional attachment to Persona to this day. So me knowing that was going to be really, like, my only game, I saved the rest of the money that I had. I think I eventually bought the Black Ops game, which I was kind of choosing between those two. And I had a lot of fun bouncing between both. But to be honest, Persona for me really was incredible. I mean, I booted it up. It was Persona 4 Golden, by the way. I booted it up and I felt like it was nothing I'd ever seen. I thought it was like one of the best games ever made. I'm playing it and I'm watching it like a TV show. I'm staying up late night because it's a portable game system, so it's crazy. I had owned a PSP, but that was the PSP Go, I believe, and it was broke. I had to kind of tape it together and do some old modifications for it or whatever. And this was a brand new system. So for me, man, I got to really play a game that I really loved and I really enjoyed. I got to get that game on a day where I didn't think nothing was gonna happen, because as a kid, if you don't really have that much, you kind of expect to really not get that much, you know? When you get a gift like that, it's so shocking to you and you're so appreciative because you didn't even expect it, you know? So I was excited, man. I was really, really excited. Everything came through for me that day. So when I played Persona 4, I moved on, you know. I played other games past that, you know. We get a little older and stuff, and we was on the PlayStation, man. I was talking with my friends or whatever, and I was like, oh, there's a new game coming out, Persona 5. At the time, I didn't really see any of the marketing for it. I didn't even really hear about it. I think I saw like maybe one trailer, and I was like, wow, man, this is crazy. They're coming out with another one of these? At the time, I hadn't played 3 yet. I was like, okay, you know, maybe I'll check it out. And as time went by, you know, a friend of mine, I never ended up getting it, you know? I had such an attachment to Persona, and for some reason, I just didn't even care about it no more, you know? That story just lost the time. My friend ended up getting it, man. And to make a long story even longer, I played it and I was blown away. It unanimously became my favorite JRPG of all time. And for a foreseeable future, it would always be my favorite JRPG of all time. There have been games that have been close. I mean, like Dragon Quest 11, I love that game. But Persona, for keeping the turn-based system that I really, really love, to not only keeping it, but making it the best the series has ever seen. For making it so flashy, so, you know, interesting to look at. The story being, the fact that it took, when I heard that it actually takes 100 hours to beat the game, I was locked in. Because that to me is guaranteed gameplay. Now, there's a lot of games like that, they could just be knocking you behind a wall, like a grind wall. You just got to grind to do this, grind to do that, and that's why it's so much. But this game in particular felt different, you know. I actually played 100 hours plus into this game, and I was ready to play more. So when Royal came out, I was kind of excited to give that a try because, you know, it was basically, I know how Golden was, you know. I'd already looked up that there was 2 Persona 4 Golden, so I'd already knew what that all was about, and it made sense. But when it came out, man, I bought it and I played it, but I honestly couldn't get into it. And I realized that the reason why I couldn't get into it is because I loved the first one so much. I put so much time into playing that one that I am not a person that likes to beat games twice. I am a person that will beat a game and that'll be it. You know, that has been a nice journey, but that's it. You know, that's me. But honestly, I felt like with Royal coming out, I had no choice but to go back into it. But I never could really get into it again. And then eventually it was announced it was coming to Switch and Xbox. Now let me tell you really quickly, because this video is already too long. Let me tell you, when I saw it coming out for Switch, I realized something really quickly to myself. I told myself I was really going to play that game again. And I was going to finish it all the way through. And the reason for that is because when you play the Switch, like if you play a game on PlayStation, you play it on Switch, it feels completely different. And it's not just because of the graphics, it's because of the mobility of it. I say this a lot in my videos too. I hated Dragon Quest 11. I hated it when I first was playing it because I felt like it was boring. I hated just kind of, I don't know. I hated everything about it. But it's because I bought it randomly on PlayStation because I heard it was really good. I played it, a little bit of it. I didn't really do much in it. And for some odd reason, I really didn't like it. It eventually came out on Switch, the Definitive Edition. And yes, that does make a difference because it had a lot of extra content. But I decided, hey, why not buy this again? You know, just me being stupid. Because if you don't like a game, why buy it again? I decided to buy it again because I felt like it was going to be something that I would really want to give it another try. And it being on Switch gives it mobility, which I'm not stupid, man. I know that I love games when they're more mobile. So I tried it out and it becomes one of my top 5 JRPGs of all time. I mean, to be honest, probably top 5 games of all time. Now, there's a lot of things I really want to talk about, but I don't want to make this a 20-30 minute video. So maybe I'll split it up and put it in another topic because there are some extra things I do want to talk about with this actual subject. But I want to ask, you know, what game meant something to you? You know, what game is connected to an event in your life or you felt like, you know, not necessarily that you were down, but, you know, it was just a happy moment. Any happy moment with any game. Let me know that in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next video.